land where Jesus was born, lived, and preached, faith is not a memory, it is a living presence rooted in history, culture, and everyday life. What does it mean to live the Christian faith in Hebrew? In a society shaped by Jewish tradition, the St. James Vicariat accompanies those who have discovered Christ and choose to live their Catholic faith fully, rooted in this land, this language,
Jesus himself
and this
was
culture.
born a Jew.
He prayed in Hebrew, celebrated Jewish feasts, and lived fully within the traditions of his people. His faith did not erase his roots, it fulfilled them. Today, in the very same land, a Catholic community continues this story.
Actually, I was baptized when I was 3 years old, but I didn't know anything about it. My mother was a Catholic, and so after my children grew up and my husband died, I decided that this is time for me to connect with my mother's roots.
ואני מרגיש שזה משהו נורא משמעותי.
And I feel that, as a Christian with Jewish roots, living at this intersection of two histories and two cultures is incredibly meaningful, and it's something that gives me strength every day. Although I'm Filipino, and my mother is Filipino, I was born in Israel, and I've lived the Israeli way of life, celebrated Israeli culture, and feel Israeli through and through. I'm also Christian, so I go to church every week, and my faith is very, very strong.
The St. James Vicariat is an integral part of the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem. It gathers Hebrew-speaking Catholics, locals and migrants into one church, united in Jesus Christ. Its roots go back to 1955, when the St. James Association was founded to support Hebrew-speaking Catholic communities in Israel. In 2013, it became an autonomous vicariate, a sign of a living and growing pastoral reality. St. James, head of the first Christian community in Jerusalem, was himself a faithful Jew. His life reflects the identity of the vicariate: unity without confusion, faith without losing memory, belonging without exclusion.
La Chiesa di Terra Santa è una chiesa multiforme che ha molti volti.
The Catholic Church in the Holy Land is a multifaceted church. It has many faces, many languages, and many realities. It is somewhat like Pentecost, where many peoples gathered together, speaking different languages, yet were able to understand one another. The community of St. James has a very specific vocation. On the one hand, it expresses this multifaceted nature of the church. On the other, it helps the entire church to understand and build a relationship with the Jewish people. My experience with this community has taught me a great deal. Above all, a deep love for Scripture as a constitutive part of the Church's identity. The Old and New Testaments as a unity, but also with a love and an attention that has been truly beautiful.
Attenzione che è stata molto bella.
Across Israel, in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv-Jaffa, Haifa, Beersheba, and Tiberias, communities gather to pray, learn, and grow together. Children and young people discover the gospel in Hebrew within the society they call home.
תרימו יד, מי חושב שיש לו קשר טוב עם ישוע? יופי! איך להיות איתו בקשר? תנו לי דוגמאות. להתפלל, מה זה להתפלל?
לדבר איתו.
יופי, להתפלל זה לדבר איתו.
יסוע רئיס السلام يشوع שר השלום يسوع مصدر الرجاء يشوع מקור התקווה يسوع هو المحبة يشوع מקור האהבה
Transmitting the faith to the next generation is at the heart of the Vicariat's mission. Here, faith is not separated from daily life. It is woven into language, culture, and relationships.
הגעתי לקהילה כשהייתי בת 14 בערך.
I came to the community when I was about 14 years old. My mother was also part of the communities in the past, when she was a child in the Be'er-Sheva community. I'm part of the community, attending masses and also working within the community with the youth and the children, especially with the children of immigrants. During summer camps, we have a center in Jerusalem. I think this is important first and foremost because when I was younger, I was part of the youth group, and it gave me a lot as a Christian in the country, in an environment that is mostly Jewish. As a Christian woman, the group is what sustained me, and that is why it is so important to me. I grew up in Israel. I studied in Israel. I speak Hebrew, even with my family, and I believe that Hebrew is a language like all others, but I think praying in Hebrew is something special. Being different is something difficult, but on the other hand, it is also special.
אבל מצד שני זה גם מיוחד.
Jewish feasts and Christian celebrations shape the rhythm of the year. Music, prayer, and shared moments of joy strengthen a community that lives its faith openly, respectfully, and deeply. Living within Israeli Jewish society, the St. James Vicariat is called to dialogue. Through encounter and mutual respect, relationships are built, not to convince, but to understand. In 2025, members of the St. James Vicariat journeyed to Rome for the Jubilee. In the heart of the Universal Church, they experienced communion beyond borders. For many, the encounter with the Pope became a moment of profound unity.
Right now, we just came out of the meeting with the Holy Father Leo, and he greeted us, and we gave him a small souvenir, our medal for 70 years of the Vicariate.
It was very nice, and we felt belonging. Like we are part of something bigger than us. And to see that the Pope is so nice and he is attentive.
To see the Pope, personally like to be 1 meter from him, to shake his hand and everything. It's a very big highlight.
The St. James Vicariat is a living witness in the Holy Land, Catholic and Hebrew-speaking, rooted in memory, alive in the present, and open to the future, a community that remembers where faith was born and chooses to live it every day.
And this is the Holy Land. So we must be happy that we live here and we see this. And hopefully, in the future, that everybody will understand the same thing and feel the same thing.
אנחנו שמחים להיות כאן היום בקהילת יעקב הצדיק.
והבן ברוח הקודש, נלך בשלום.